The Final Crossing, a Peregrine Sebastopol mystery. Written by Marc Everitt. Narrated by Robert Sebastian Cooper. Copyright 2019, Marc Everitt. All rights reserved. The right of Marc Everitt to be identified as the author of this work has been asserted by him. This is a work of fiction. Names, characters, places, incidents, and dialogues are the products of the author's imagination or are used fictitiously. Where locations are used, all characters described herein are fictitious. Any resemblance to actual people, living or dead, events or locales, is entirely coincidental. Forward. I've gathered you all here. From the latter years of the 19th century, throughout the 20th and now into the 21st, untold numbers of readers have enjoyed the fictional adventures of sleuths, both professional and amateur, and an entire genre of the murder mystery was born. It shows no signs of losing its appeal any time soon. With conventions both formulaic and unrealistic, such as the gathering of the suspects for the drawing-room reveal, the often bizarrely complex planning behind the evildoers' deeds, and the fact that these detectives ever got invited to a dinner party at all. These well-known characters gave crime a sheen of rationality that the real work rarely bothered itself with. There were few meaningless or pointless crimes. It was always to inherit great wealth or revenge for a terrible slight, long since forgotten by all that the person it was inflicted upon. As such readers, and I include myself gladly amongst their number, found certainty and a sense that all was right with the world. Yes, terrible things happened, but there was a reason for them, and as such you could navigate your life with at least a small chance of getting through it in one piece. True, you might be poisoned whilst taking tea on the lawn with the vicar, or at least you knew that your killer would be unmasked in a dramatic fashion by some busybody from the local village who was only attending to speak with an old school friend and certainly wasn't trying to get involved in any sort of hullabaloo. While this might offer scant consolation to the murdered party, everyone else involved would get a nice, tidy resolution. Incidentally, my best advice to anyone being invited to any sort of social gathering where someone says, "Oh, have you met Professor Crime Solver? He's been in all the papers for solving that awful business of the triple axe murder down at the greengrocer's last month," would be to just thank your host, get your coat, and head for home while you still can. You can read about who didn't make it to the cheese course in the local paper later in the week, assuming, of course, the victim wasn't the paperboy or the newsagent. The point being here that throughout a turbulent and violent century and a half, we have distracted ourselves from the pointless violent deaths of millions and exponentially rising crime rates which modern society has seen to bring by focusing our attention on smaller-scale homicides that were committed for a reason, and a reason which someone we trust implicitly will get to the bottom of before the end of the book. What follows herein is a tale of the first of these general detectives, a man who caught criminals with elegance and panache which perhaps influenced those who would follow him. His stories, long lost to time and only recently rediscovered down the back of a sofa, cast new light on the violin-bothering consulting detective, Belgium OCD sufferers, and frustratingly omnipresent elderly spinsters who would catch villains in the years that were to come. Any resemblance in investigatory method or stylistic affections which might occur to the reader is likely down to our hero's successes being lauded in the press at the time and influencing others to get into the whole detective.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?